Welcome to the October 7th, 2025 meeting of the College of Redwoods Board of Trustees. Please join me in this flag and honor the Pacific country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Moving to our round of acknowledgements. We acknowledge that College of the Redwoods is located on the unceded territory of the Wiyot, Tupa, Puyut, Matoli, Talowa, Wailaki, and Yurok people, where they have resided from time immemorial. We encourage all to gain a deeper understanding of their history and thriving cultures. As an expression of our gratitude, we are genuinely committed to developing trusting, reciprocal, and long-lasting partnerships with the Wiyot people, as well as all of our neighboring tribes. Moving to agenda item 2, general public comments.
There are none.
There are no general public comments. Thank you, Julie. That takes us to agenda item 3. I will start out with a brief announcement, and that is that we must pull agenda item 5.3. which was the resolution regarding the leaseback structure, which we discussed rather at length at our September meeting. I must pull this agenda item because it's necessary for all trustees to be present when this resolution is discussed. And unfortunately, due to an emergency, Trustee Jack Rice is unable to attend today's meeting. However, there is some urgency in trying to move this forward one way or another. So I am going to request that we have a special meeting to consider agenda item 5.3. This can be a Zoom meeting. I have checked that. And while this may sound like it's coming at you very fast, but because of various trustees and travel plans and such, I'm going to ask if all the trustees may have available this coming Tuesday for a Zoom meeting at either 9 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I do not anticipate that this meeting would last more than 30 minutes. And we had some discussion about this earlier today at an ad hoc committee meeting. We decided it might be best just to put this out on the table right now while we're all sitting around the table. If we cannot come up with a time that works for all, then I'll ask Julie to send out a scheduling block. But I thought I would just start out with, this next Tuesday work for people to Zoom.
Yes.
Yes.
I just want to mention, but you have to be in district.
Yeah, you have to be in district. You can't be out visiting families.
1 o'clock would be better for me, but I can make 9 work.
I would prefer 1 o'clock.
So would I.
Okay.
So have you checked the rise?
Yeah, it's good.
On either one.
Wow.
That was easy during the day committee meeting.
It took us at least 30 minutes. to go through this at our committee meeting. So, all righty. Am I dating myself?
You are a little bit, yeah.
So we will be posting a special meeting for Tuesday, October 14th at 1 o'clock. It will have one agenda item, and that is to approve resolution number 834, authorizing use of the leaseback structure under the state lease revenue bond student housing program for student housing project. We need these 30 minutes to read the resolution. And as I've already stated, it is necessary for all trustees to be present for this meeting. Thank you. I really appreciate your willingness to accept this request to meet next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. That moves us to member comments. Yes. Trustee Pedrado.
I listened to the government relations webinar on September 16th. Just want to mention a couple things. Two bills heading to the governor's desk were AB 323 Strong Workforce Program Work-Based Learning Opportunities, which is intended to increase students' employability and employment potential. And also AB 1400, baccalaureate degree in nursing program, in which President Blair sent a letter to the governor encouraging him to sign. And the league gave a big thank you to all who sent those letters. And if I'm correct, both of these bills were signed by the governor. So that was good news. And at the federal level, just a reminder, a couple of issues that will likely affect our students from the big beautiful bill will be healthcare cuts and SNAP program cuts. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Pedrano. Yes, trustee Matthews.
Since I was unable to unfortunately attend the September meeting, I just wanted to mention that I was able to attend all the August activities, the workshop, convocation, sports auction. On October 1st, I attended the Chancellor's Office webinar on resources available for supporting undocumented students. And this really was a rundown of just many different kinds of resources that are available to community college students. And particularly, I thought it was important just to note that there is a Immigrant Legal Resource Center, which offers free legal services to immigrant students at California community colleges and employees of those colleges and their families. And that includes, but isn't limited to DACA students. So I thought that was worth noting.
Thank you. Yes, trustee Gibb.
There, my mic on. I too was able to listen to the Zoom meeting on undocumented students and thought it was an excellent overview of all the services that are available and the support that California offers DACA students. Then I wanted to mention that I have been appointed to serve on the ACES committee, which I've served on before, which is Advisory Committee on Educational Services for the league. They reorganized it this year. Carmen Sandoval is no longer in charge of educational services. A lady named Jeanette Chang is. They put a committee together that has various members of their different constituent groups. So it's not just trustees. There's a college president, there's deans. It looks like an interesting group. We've had one Zoom meeting. I have one on Thursday. There's only one meeting in person. So I'm looking forward to that opportunity to serve again.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, we ready to move forward to board committee reports? Looking at trustee Dorn, I know he has a board committee report.
I'm pleased to announce that the President Eval Committee has finished its chores for the year. It was actually one of the busiest committees I think I've ever participated in. And I really appreciate my fellow trustee, President Mullery and Trustee Matthews, for working so diligently on this. And our last task today was to review the presidential job description. So it's was on our agenda. We went through it. We made a few minor corrections, and it is done and going on to HR. And thank you very much, committee members.
Okay, thank you. You did
Thank
an
you.
excellent job chairing that committee and keeping us moving forward. Any other board committee reports? Okay, that takes us to agenda item 3.3, the status of board of trustee request. You have a spreadsheet there. Are there any questions having to do with that? This is just to keep us abreast as to what is happening with those requests. Agenda item 3.4. Administrative procedure 2220 calls on me as president of the board to appoint members to the ad hoc committee on the nominations for board officers at this meeting. The ad hoc committee will be made up of trustee Sarah Dronkers, trustee Sarah Biggin, or Sarah Biggin, Sally Biggin. It's the sea of autumn.
Yeah.
It's blinding.
And trustee Biggin and myself. So there'll be 3 members on this committee, trustee Dronkers, trustee Biggin, and myself. Thank you both for your willingness to serve on this committee. That takes us to consent calendar action items. Any board member may remove an item from the consent calendar and place it under discussion. Those items would then be voted on separately. Yes, trustee Dorn.
4.7 and 4.3.
Got it. Trustee Dronkers.
4.9.
4.9. Seeing no other items being pulled, I will ask for your approval for agenda items. Consent calendar action items 4.1, 4.2, 4.4, 4.5, 4.6, 4.8, 4.10, and 4.11.
So move.
Second,
All those in favor of accepting the consent calendar action items I just enumerated, please say aye. Objections? That set of consent calendar action items is approved. I'll go to 4.3 first, simply because I'm doing it numerically. I believe that was yours, trustee Jordan.
Yes, so my question was about the KTGY group, the architects for the student housing project. And that it's being paid by the Capital Outlay Project Fund. Why, I was wondering why it wasn't paid out of the bond money.
Julie, do you have any feedback on that?
I think what happened is initially when we contracted with them, we didn't have Measure I, so we were using capital outlay. So we just have not updated that language, and it was just an error that didn't get caught.
Thank you.
Okay. Shall we vote on, why don't we vote on 10.3, or I guess we can do all three if we want to move forward, that might be more efficient. 4.7, trustee Jordan.
So 4.7, I was curious about, or the administrative services contingency budget. What is that exactly?
That is simply us transferring money back into vice president her particular budget. So it's like a savings account for the budget. So what we wanted to do, or what I wanted to do is make sure that the funding and expenditures of that $100,000 is led by the CEO versus putting it in a department budget that is just sitting there unspent.
Because I don't,
So it's just back in our budget.
because I don't think I've ever seen that budget before. That was, I'm sure I have, but
Actually, we use it all the time.
okay, yeah.
It's just that we have never transferred money from one area to another that needed for people.
Okay, thank you.
And 4.9.
Yes, 4.9 is about applying for a Cal OES grant for sexual assault program. I was just curious if we had any idea of an amount and a specific use, or is that still to be determined?
Dr. Morris, can you give some feedback on this?
Sure, thank you for the question. So this is actually a continuation of the grant that we have already been awarded for $235,000 specific to training and establishing the sexual assault prevention program to include trauma-informed training for our police officer and our police sergeant. and district-wide collective group training for response. This also allows for us to contract with community resources like the North Coast Rape Crisis Center to have 24/7 on-call crisis support for survivors. This grant that you see in today's packet is a continuation and approximately $250,000.
Wonderful, thank you.
Does that work for you, trustee Jordan?
Yes, thank you.
It appears we are now ready to vote on agenda items 4.3, 4.7, 4.9 on our consent calendar. I move approval.
I second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Objections? They are approved. Yes, trustee Magnus.
Excuse me. I just wanted to take a minute to comment on our consent calendar, items, two of them, not outside of the vote, just wanted to say that I was very pleased to see the trio positions in the personnel report. And I wanted to be able to congratulate Margaret Reeve and Peter Blakemore on their faculty emeritus status.
Thank you. Thanks, Trustee. Yes. Trustee Bigelow.
I too would like to make a comment about one of the consent items. I just wanted to express my appreciation for the quality of the minutes from the meeting for Crime Training Instruction side. I especially like the way you enumerated Missy's report. It's very well done. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we are now moving forward to our action discussion items, specifically 5.1 to approve the monthly financial status report. President Flamer?
All right, Vice President Morrison, is there any background that you want to decide? Beyond what's already written.
I do not have anything to add for the monthly financial status report, except that I guess I do have something to add. We are very close to getting the 311 data entered, and the fiscal year end closed for 24-25. And since the monthly financial status report does have the fund balance on it, for the 24-25 fiscal year, when we had the budget approved initially, we were at 11.1%. Throughout the year with the adjustments that we made, we ended at 17.6% estimated ending fund balance. It looks like we're going to be ending at about 15.8%. So I just wanted to report out on that.
And I apologize, I neglected to ask for someone to get this particular agenda item on the table. Trustee
I
Jordan
second.
gave a second, thank you, I apologize for not speaking to that directly. Are there further questions for you, President Flamer or Vice President Morrison on this item? Yes, Trustee Matthews.
I'm looking at the transfers out and some of them look familiar. But I don't remember the adult and community education transfer out before.
Yes, that is a new item. Last year, I made the commitment to invest money in ACE, knowing that two things. One, we could expand the footprint of our downtown campus for adult community. But also we want to put money toward ACE because that's where we need to grow FTS.
Right, and we will receive FTS for the adult ed course.
Correct.
Got it. Thank you.
Some question. Yes, Trustee Jordan.
And I just wanted to thank you for the background information. That I really thought that was helpful and great. I thought it was funny when you said that about the or actually higher. You used the word actually higher, I think, on the tuition. I thought that was funny.
Your summaries really are very well done. I very much appreciate reading them as well. Thank you, Trustee Jordan, for pointing that out. It appears we may be ready to vote on this. All those in favor of approving the monthly financial status report, please say aye.
Aye.
Objections? It is approved. Thank you all. We're moving to 5.2. To approve the authorization to proceed with an invitation to bid on the demolition of the old administrative forum buildings, administration/forum buildings. Do I have a motion?
I move approval.
I'll second.
So President Flamer, is there anything you'd like to add to what you've provided the board on this item?
I think I've talked about this for a long time. So I think that this is a very brief background, but if the trustees have any particular questions, I think that you're aware that we are relocating all of CR staff and departments from home admin and forum building. We should have that complete this year, and I had that conversation with Access Hubble as well as the academic arts.
The time has come.
A long time coming, we get it.
Not an easy task to relocate.
Any further questions on this item? Trustee Doran?
I just wanted to comment that this makes me feel very old. Because I remember the day that that building opened. I was a student here, so. yeah.
True that all.
I know. It's hard to believe.
I want to comment, I will probably not do.
It appears we're ready to vote on this item to approve this authorization, solicit bids to demolish the old administration/forum buildings. It's sad.
Yeah,
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Objections? Tear them down. We're ready to go.
I did appreciate the pictures that were sent about.
Yeah. We're moving to agenda item 5.3. Oh, no, we're not. I pulled 5.3. We will be revisiting that next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Okay, 5.4. To approve the resolution number 835, recognizing October as 2S/LGBTQIA+ History Month. Is there a motion to approve this?
I move approval.
A second.
Thank you. President Flamer, is there anything you'd like to add on this?
There is nothing that I should add.
Are there any questions regarding this resolution? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving resolution 835, please say aye.
Aye.
Objections? It is approved. Well done. That takes us to agenda item 5.5. The 2025 to 2028 faculty contract. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve.
I'll second.
Thank you. President Flamer, is there anything you would like to add?
I
What you
think,
provided us.
like, as you have probably read in the CFO report, that the contract is done and has been ratified. And I want to thank both sides, if you will. I think this is probably the smoothest negotiation of a contract that we have seen in a while. And it was done in just the time. So I want to again thank the CFO and our team from college for going through this, especially over the summer and getting all this work done. This is a very good contract.
If I might add, I suspect that one reason it went as smoothly as it did is because of the good work that you and CRFO do collaborating and cooperating and meeting, communicating. It's a huge step forward in trying to make these things move forward. So you should take a lot of credit for this as well as CRFO. Yes, trustee Matthews.
I just want to comment, because I read through a lot of the contract. And it's very, very specific, very specific. I was impressed. And I think that I just want to say there's such value in that to both the faculty and the administration and college as a whole to have such specific guidelines for so many issues, rights, responsibilities, contingencies, etc. It's such an important document.
Yeah.
It isn't all about pay. I mean, I think we think about the contract, we think about pay. It's not all about the pay, and it's really definitive
Mhm.
document.
Thank you, excellent points. It appears we are ready to vote on this. All those in favor of approving the 2025 to 2028 faculty contract, please say aye. Objections? It is approved. Thank you all for working on this. I couldn't agree more with Trustee Matthews. It's really extremely well done document. That takes us to 5.6. This is a first read of administrative procedures, so it does not require a vote. You want to give us some background on this, President Flamer? I know we have a trustee committee that works on BP, APs, but this type comes through in a different way. So that's why the trustees are not as involved in this. Comes through human resources in the president's office. Yes.
BPs and APs from 3,000s down to the 7,000s are the responsibility of the administration. And so we regularly review all the BPs and APs to make sure that they're current, but also to make sure that they speak to the current needs of the institution. So this first read is for the board to give me advice of what they suggest we change. Now, because 3,000s and 7,000s are the responsibility for the president, the board will only give me advice and you will not see it again as a second. The
Thank
only
you.
time you will see a second read of APPs and APs is 1,000s and 2,000s.
Thank you for clarifying that. Any questions or advice we would like to share with President Flamer on these APs? Okay. Seeing none, thank you for giving us the opportunity to read these APs. That takes us to 5.7, and this does fall well within our purview. That is the second read of BP 2431, the president superintendent selection process. We had our first read of this document at our September board meeting. You now have a clean copy of it. At the September board meeting, you had a copy with all of the track changes.
I move for approval.
Second,
Are there any questions or comments regarding this document? Seeing none, it appears we're ready to vote. All those in favor of approving board policy 2431, the president/superintendent selection process, please say aye.
Aye.
Objections? It is approved. And I will add to something that trustee Jordan has already noted. This was very much within the purview of trustee Jordan's ad hoc committee. And I thought the ad hoc committee really worked well together. And along that had to do your leadership, trustee Jordan. It was just a really good one.
It was.
So thank you for moving this forward. It's an important document.
Thank you. Good luck to the committee next year.
That moves us to recognitions. Would you like to make any comments on this, President Flamer?
I think this is probably my favorite agenda item of every board meeting.
Yes.
I really want to call your attention to the recognition of Misty Knight and the work that she does at KTIS. But also Dean Jessica Howard. You know, sometimes we need reminding of how complicated her job actually is. Is that she's not just in charge of nursing, every healthcare program and pathway that we have. And it was just a joy for me to sit there with the board of nursing and have them talk about how wonderful Jessica Howard is and how lucky CRAs even have her. And there was some subtle hints that board of nursing would love to have her work for them. And I said, don't you dare anger. But Jessica Howard is a very big input asset to the institution. So I want to say good job to both of them.
Yes, trustee Matthews.
I just have a thought regarding our basketball player, John, joining the professional league in Taiwan. And just hopefully on behalf of the full board, want to wish him the absolute very best. I think, obviously, this is a tremendous opportunity for him. I suspect it's also going to be a tremendous challenge for him, and I hope it all just goes great.
He's a very fine gentleman. You know, when we first when I first met him, he seemed awfully shy. And then you got him on the court without a group of students and he no longer was shy. So he's gonna do very well.
Thank you for observing that, Trustee Matthews. Yes, Trustee Pedrati.
I just want to make a comment about the recognition of Misty Knight. I think a benefit of us going up to Hoopa in from the KT site is we got to witness, you know, all the work she does and recognize that. So that was really nice to see that she was recognized.
Thank you for putting this together, President Clymer. It is one of the highlights of our board meeting for sure. That takes us to our second informational report, the 6-month report on equivalencies to minimum qualifications. You provided us this information. There's been no applications. There's probably not a whole lot to
Talk about?
talk about, but it's good to know. It's good information to have, so thank you for providing us this information. Organizational reports. President Bernadette Johnson, we have the academic senate.
Hello. I don't have much to add. I just want to share that the Senate has been working over the last 2 or 3 meetings on refining our goals for the year. And so that's primarily what's contained in this report. We did make some minor wording adjustments to one of them at the last meeting, but the spirit of the goals haven't changed. And one of the things we're really trying to do is be clear about what we're working on and have a lot of consensus around the focus that we're going to have this year. And, you know, Wendy Griggs is my vice president buddy, and we're working really closely together. And I really appreciate that teamwork approach. And all of the senators have been engaged, actively engaged, and working directly with, you know, Vice President Morris on aligning what we're doing, the work that needs to be done at the college as a whole is what we're trying to do. So I'll take any questions, but that's all I want to share.
I would just congratulate you. This is a really impressive set of goals. And, yeah, it's a very strong document. So thank you and your colleagues for putting it together and for sharing it with us. I think we are now ready to move to, let's see, CRFO, President Michelle Haggerty. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
I want to thank you for passing the contract. We're really excited to have that done with and so quick in the year. That's very helpful. So thank you.
You're speechless.
I did send a report, so I don't have anything else to add.
Well, as I've already said, thank you so much for all you and your colleagues work on pulling this together. It's a very big job, and it takes many thankless unpaid hours to make it all work. So thank you.
Sure. And if you did read through it, you see how detailed it is, how important those details are.
Yeah.
It's quite large.
So thank you. Okay, seeing no further questions, that takes us to classified report. President Rachel Morris, there she is.
There I am. Hello. I did
Hello.
provide a written report, but our Science Night team asked me to extend a couple more recognitions. It was a really great evening. We had lots of participation, a lot of faculty stations were running out of things quickly, so we know that was a big success. But we wanted to give a really big shout out to our Academy of the Redwood staff and students. We could not have done the event without them. We had tons of AR students volunteering during the event. They also wanted me to thank CR employees that volunteered their time: Alexandra Baker, Matthew Gilliland, Chris Chorby, Michelle August, Marlia Luzier, I don't know if I said that right, Linda Phelps, Gary Roney, Tiffany Schmidtke, and Kristen Luke. So it took a lot to make that event happen, but it was really successful. So I don't want to leave without good recognition of all those people. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for your written report. It's much appreciated. And the picture. That was fun. That takes us to Management Council. Is President Julius right here, live and in person, no AI picture here.
Just wanted you to know that Evan is really a lot taller than thank you for having me here. I've submitted a written report and I don't have anything to add, but I'm happy to take questions.
I guess you said it all in your written report. Okay. We do appreciate you seeing this written reports, and keeping us updated on your events. So thank you.
You're very welcome.
Student trustee, Delilah Shelton, you're up.
Well, I don't have a written report this time.
That's
I will
okay.
next time. I do have a few things to update on though. I was appointed as the student trustee to join the accessibility capability maturity model for improving accessibility on campus. And I was also appointed to the sexual assault and coordinated response team. And my work with ASCR has been really great for the past few months. We've been making a lot of progress towards Fall Week, which is coming up. It's going to be the week of Halloween, so that'll be very busy.
Yeah.
But very fun for students. And that's really all that I have right now.
So, student trustee Delilah, when you say you've been appointed, who appoints you?
I was invited to join the sexual assault and coordinated response team by Stephanie Fryer.
Okay.
I think I might have misspoken by saying appointed.
Oh, that's okay. I was just curious as to, how you get involved in these committees. I think it's wonderful that you are involved, and I wasn't sure what the
Yeah.
process was.
I think I did misspoke too.
That's okay.
For the other committee as well.
Okay, well, congratulations for adding a few more committee responsibilities onto probably a very busy plate. So thank you for your service. It's much appreciated. Administrative reports. President Flamer.
Thank you. First, I really want to thank Molly Blakemore, College Rael, and Tori Eagles for representing the administration in the negotiation process with Snowtron. I think that the comments that I have received is that it went extremely well, and it really is indicative of the fact that the people involved at both sides of the table are long-time CR employees. And they have a history, and the contract does represent a lot of passing things that we didn't do well that we needed to clean up. So I think things are looking very good. And I want to thank Molly for taking the lead as our chief negotiator. Now let's talk rodeo. Now, I know you all know that I love it, and I'm very, very proud of the fact that our team did compete for the first time last weekend. Now, they didn't do as well as they wanted, but this represents a lot of time of planning, and I'm very proud of it. So we have 5 team members, and so of course 2 coaches, which the trustees have been introduced to, the ODAs. I think that their next 4-day event is coming up here shortly, I think next month, on November 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th in Fresno. And so that's their next outing. I'm hoping that I can go there, but it was really, I'm very proud. They're doing well. And I really like those CR desks. It looks great on camera. It's fantastic. So those are the two things that I wanted to mention to the trustees in my verbal. Brief. I'll take any questions that you might have. No, I meant, let me just amend that.
Okay.
Let me also mention that in my written report, I did note the other October celebration.
Yes.
And I just wanted the trustees and the whole college to know that there are a lot of things happening in October. And we wanted to recognize all the events that happen in October, not just one. So,
Yeah,
those are the things I wanted to suggest.
yeah, I appreciated that, trustee Humphries.
I just wanted to share that I appreciated the Atlantic article you shared in the report. And that you have put together an event this Thursday around free speech versus hate speech. I feel like that's taking a very important role for our community to host those kinds of conversations. So I just really appreciate it and see it as a wonderful role for CR to take.
Thank you. We are going into this as a collaborative event with the administration and the academics. I think that we both recognize the opportunity that we have to discuss free speech and First Amendment. I think that we are all somewhat confused on what hate speech is. We can all recognize what hate speech feels like, but we don't actually know how to regulate that. If we do regulate that, I don't think anyone knows the answer to that question. So then this is going to be the first shot across the bow, if you will, on this level of conversation, and we will continue to have other conversations in this way.
It's hard to regulate because it's hard to define.
It's hard to define.
Yeah. So like you feel like you know it when you hear it, but that's not necessarily the best way of
Exactly.
defining it. Yes, trustee Jordan.
Well, I thought the AI task force was really well done. I think you have an incredible team on that, and I'm looking forward to seeing the outcome. I was actually listening to the Humboldt radio station this morning, and most of it was about AI and students and faculty. And so my only concern is that the late dates in here will be changing so quickly by October of August of 26. Yeah. I mean, it's a quickly moving subject.
It is.
And I do have to mention that former trustee Dan Kelly asked for something similar to this 3 years ago or 4. It's sort of interesting. So.
Yeah, good observation. Thank you. Anything else on this? Thank you. It was a very complete and thorough and interesting report. Aren't always, but particularly interesting. Okay, let's see, Vice President Morrison.
Yes, thank you. I did have a couple things to add. As I mentioned earlier, we're working on the 311 annual report that is due to the Chancellor's office this Friday. I have no reason to anticipate that we won't have it in by the deadline. One of the sections that we do have complete is the 50% law calculation. That's always the one that I do first, just to see where we're standing. And it's pre-audit, but we're right now sitting just above 53%. So we're doing just fine with the 50% law.
Wonderful.
And I also wanted to mention and draw your attention to the back of the boardroom. You'll see those, we call them, I think, color boards, but essentially those are all some interior design samples for the student housing project. And I wanted to thank Leslie Marshall and Sarah Stoll helped. Those all came in boxes, and Leslie had to figure out what section of the student housing they pertain to, put them all together, sample different types of adhesives. It looks like they're all staying so far. So I don't know if you touch gently if they want to get textured, okay, just be it's fragile, but I just want to thank them and draw your attention so you can kind of start visually seeing some of the colors that our interior design team have chosen.
Very nice.
May I ask you to explain what we mean by the 50% law for trustee Junkers who's not familiar with that term?
I just want to jump to the fun stuff.
Don't blame me at all.
So the 50% law, just a really high level, is that the districts have to spend at least 50% of their monies that come in from the state, of your monies that come in. Let me take a step backwards. It's actually a 50% of the expenditures. and it's the unrestricted general fund. So we have to spend at least 50% of our unrestricted general fund on the cost of education. So that's mainly instruction, instructional supplies. And so right now, like I mentioned, we're at 53%. So it's something that we have to, we've been fortunate in the recent past, but it's always in our minds when we're making certain decisions.
And there has been a time when we didn't quite make it, many years ago, before President Clinton's time. There were times it's not good. So hearing 53 is wonderful. Trustee Jordan.
So I have to ask about the receivables on the students. And my question was that at one point we were way up there and then the staff got, I would say, aggressive in collecting money, phone calls, what have you. What do we do today in terms, do we still have that aggressive behavior or?
We do, and if you want specifics, Vice President Morrison, can you try and talk about how, like, COTOP and how we collect?
So I do believe we're still participating in COTOP. It's not, it's a tool. It's not, when you think of a percentage of what we actually get, it's not a high percentage of the accounts receivable. But I think one of the other pieces that's helping to continue to keep it at a lower level is that we're still writing off every year. We write off anything over 3 years old.
Right.
But also we had utilized some of the COVID funding for student debt, and so that helped us get it lower as well.
And how much of, do you know how much of this is for the dorms?
I don't know the answer.
I do not, it's unfortunately very challenging to break it down that way. I won't go into details. We have tried to get, it takes time and the system isn't actually set up, unfortunately, to track it that way.
It's not what it is. Because I remember we heard at one point in time, we didn't know, I thought.
We did several years ago, and that's why we got aggressive.
Okay,
And except that we're just trying to require them to pay upfront versus carrying them over.
okay.
Yeah, it was a problem,
And so what do we do now?
and I can't answer that question. I don't know the answer, but I can give you the answer. And you can research that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious about that. I mean, of course, the board has to agree, but, and then, so with the, if the board approves the 28 million and the,
28.4 is.
yes,
I've been corrected many times.
okay, 28.4, Vice President. The dorm rate, the student housing rates will drop, correct, from what we charge now?
It will not drop. Matter of fact, we charge $623 per bed per semester. Now, when we, I'm gonna be positive, that when we accept the 28.4 million, like close to like there, okay, then actually the affordable housing rate will go up. We will charge $823 per bed, so we will increase. And the reason why I have not been in favor of increasing our basic rent is because of the condition of it. It is impossible for me to defend raising costs for our students who are currently making for a room that is substandard from the community.
So the question, and it probably will be answered when we hear the actual item, is there, I should wait.
Yeah, there was a very, I thought, an important table that.
Right.
Okay, I want to make sure you saw that table. Okay. Trustee Matthews.
So I was encouraged on the figures as of June 25. Part of the reason is because the older ones, you know, the amounts due are much less. I know part of this is writing it off, but and I know about the service that you mentioned for collecting, but for those that are less than a year old, doesn't the college ourselves do something about collecting that? I know if they owe it, they can't re-register, but do we do something ourselves in that first year or two about trying to collect the money, or does it all automatically go to the service unit?
No, not everything goes. It's actually very strict. The COTOP program, they have to be, you have to be a resident of the state of California. And then we only get something if, say, for example, they win the lottery or they have an income taxes coming to them. Then it gets intercepted, and then we only get a portion of what's owed because I think the portion goes to the COTOP. But I think that what's most effective for the current, called the current AR, is that having to have either a payment plan in place or paying down your debt in order to maintain your registration.
Any more questions? Yes, Trustee Petroni.
I'm just wondering how comparable we are to other schools, like, do other schools have this much debt, or you know, or
I do not know.
or how they collect, you know? There might be a way to find out how other schools are doing and how they work things out.
Okay, seeing no further questions, that takes us to Dr. Morse, our Vice President of Instruction and Student Development, your report.
Thank you very much. Just one thing I'd like to add in addition to the written report is a thank you for approval of personal actions with our enrollment services advisor in admissions, and then our K-16 partners and outreach manager, Cliff Lamascus. It's a critical next step in our ongoing improvement in the dual enrollment program. So thank you for approving these positions. Other than that, I have submitted a written report. I'm happy to entertain any questions you may have.
It's a very well done written report, thank you. Yeah. Seeing no further questions, that takes us to Mr. Marty Coelho, Executive Director of College Advancement in the Foundation.
Good afternoon, trustees. The only thing I would add to our report is that CR Foundation sponsors the Humboldt Walk to Alzheimer's, which is taking place this weekend at the Adorning Center. Starts at 9 o'clock. Opening ceremony is at 10:30, and the walk begins at 11. You are all invited to participate in that event. Questions you might have about it.
I've seen you in Redwood News several times. I think it's wonderful that they're reaching out to the college and that you're a spokesperson. You do an excellent job.
I think with our nursing program and all our other medical programs, it's a good fit.
It's well done. Trustee Petroni.
I just wondered, the Sequoia Orchids and Redwoods facility, what all is involved in that? The growing orchids.
It originally started as an orchid growing business, and then when it was sold to Dave Somerville, it turned into basically a cloning operation of redwood trees. And so they grow redwood trees and they send them all throughout the Northwest, Southwest, and New Zealand, as a matter of fact. So it's a very impressive operation. Basically, we took faculty out to look at the operations and consider potential partnerships with our science classes or forestry classes, etc. I think at some point something in our agriculture. So I think at some point something will, be developed and move forward and work with them. They're very easy folks to work with.
Thank you. Trustee Doran.
As a tree farmer, they're incredible. They actually, to buy trees from them is a 2-year wait. Just as a tree farmer, and how they clone, and their trees are really, they're really cool redwood trees. And they have a great survival rate, but they're not cheap either.
It's impressive. They actually brought in a indoor nursery from Amsterdam where they grew orchids, and they took it apart and brought it to Humboldt County, reassembled it. And then watching a documentary the other day about bulb farms in Amsterdam, they showed these huge nurseries. Oh, we are. Ours looks almost exactly the same, it's just a smaller size, so it's pretty cool.
I wonder if you could talk to the CR connection with the forum as well. In terms of, I think we have a student or two that's a former student that now works there, that we've talked about.
Yes, in fact, one of their main employees who runs their lab took part in an internship program through CR that Somerville's set up. And so she was trained there, did some work out in the private sector, and has come back to run their lab. And so it's pretty cool to see one of our students come back and get such a position. They also have quite a bit of land out there. So that's why Silas was scouting it out to see potentially if there's things that we can do with that land that's closer to our campus and maybe diversify some of that.
Have you officially moved now?
We've officially moved. Have we officially moved in? I think we're in a state of flux at the moment.
Okay, I just want to make sure that the trustees know where you are if they want to find you.
Yes, so we're located now down with the workplace in community education. And little by little, getting all the IT and facilities issues worked out. And we'll have an open house since we have everything kind of put together in
Oh,
in
good.
right way. So we'll definitely be inviting everyone out. It's a very nice facility. It'll be great for just kind of local alumni gatherings, et cetera. So it's nice to have the space and get them get organized.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you for the update. Alrighty, seeing no further questions for Mr. Coelho. Good luck with the walk on Saturday. It's an important cause.
Appreciate it.
We are in a closed session. Yeah, we're in a closed session. Before we move to the closed session announcement, is there a request from any trustee for tonight on the future agenda? Yeah, trustee Jordan.
I'm not quite sure how to word it, but I think we should revisit the student account receivables. I mean, I think trustee Petroni's question of what are similar institutions, when it's their write-off would be a good place to start to see if we're in the norm or if we're high. I mean, as much as I'd like to know the relationship with the dorm money, if it's a whole lot of work, it definitely isn't worth doing that. But I also think we need to look at that issue of building the new student housing. If that's gonna just with getting so many more students, if we have an issue with receivables from the current dorm students and then we're doubling or tripling the amount of students, should we expect to have that much of a bigger debt? So I'm stumbling on what I'm asking for, but I think we need to not let this go.
Yeah.
Would that be a project for the audit committee possibly, rather than be at this level and then the audit committee would come and report it at this level?
But even if it were the audit committee, the audit committee would then go to staff. I mean, it wouldn't be like the audit committee could actually develop the report. So, and this is something that comes to the full board, the accounts receivable. I mean, I think it's a good idea, but I'm not sure if it really addresses whether or not this is a request that is, I guess, reasonable, for lack of a better word. I'm looking at President Flamer for your advice on this.
I think we have to be clear about what trustees are asking for.
Yeah.
Because you just don't want a member. It would not be helpful if we just looked at every college that has a dorm and looked at those. I would suggest that the trustees ask us to look for rural institutions that have dorms.
That's
and
right.
Compare, I just want to make sure we're clear and compare on how, number one, their student accounts, but also how they also process debt.
And
Is that what you're asking?
yeah, but I didn't have the component of the dorms. I think just what Siskiyou, what Reading, maybe Butte, I don't know, but similar size institutions that are rural, what are they doing and what are their numbers looking like?
And I put in terms of the dorms,
So, yeah,
I put that in there because your latter part of that, your request
yeah,
had to do with what what may we incur with the future one.
Yeah.
And that's why I just put it all in there.
you're right.
Yeah, and if the dorm is a large portion of that, then we need to be looking at the dorms.
Just want to make sure that I understand what the trustees are asking me to do.
Christina, please.
In terms of getting a better or more complete picture of the question. Comparison with other schools, but I think, for me at least, if I knew what percentage for the past year, finishing June 25, what percentage of our total students' account receivables is the debt? Is it 2%, is it 25%? What I'm saying, of all of our accounts receivable owed from students for that year, what percentage of that is the debt? Is unpaid?
You're talking about dorm debt,
No, I mean, this money is not all dorms.
correct? It isn't.
So, no, I'm not talking about the dorm, I'm just trying to get a sense of what portion of our accounts receivable from students is unpaid, what percentage? Is that,
Okay.
we meant,
Like how many students?
no, not how many, no, I'm not talking
Percentage of
about
that.
students, I'm just getting, it's just a sense of, in many of our budgets on other boards that I'm looking at, when we look at our debt or our failed loan repayments, we're looking at, part of the picture is what percentage of the total amount is this? Is it a big problem in relative to the total percentage? We know it's a problem in terms of the money, or is it relatively speaking, not a big problem in terms of the total percentage? I'm not saying it's not a big problem, don't misunderstand, but that's just something that would help me to understand.
Yeah, you're trying to get a sense of the size of
Yes.
Of the problem.
of the
Portion.
size of the portion. Yeah, now this is easy for me to say. Seems to me that would be a relatively easy number to tease out. If we're not trying to say this portion is yours, this portion is last year.
Yeah, and how much the debt is.
If you allow me the option of making assumptions, then I can show the assumptions of that. And then fine tune that.
Okay,
That makes sense.
well, I think now, I feel like I might be adding to the request, but I think there was some interest in just the process that we're using to. So it might be good to, as long as we're doing this, to clarify the process, just how are we going about trying to collect this debt?
But if you just look at raw numbers, if our budget, I'm doing off the top of my head, is 40 million, I mean, our total. And if we're almost at 3 million in student debt, that's 13% of the 40 million. Right, well, I mean, ballpark, yeah. A different way of looking at it.
Well, and regardless, $2 or $3 million is $2 or $3 million that we could be doing something else. So, I mean, to me, it doesn't matter, like, any of the percents. It's like, I'm looking at, this is money we could be spending somewhere else.
But there is some natural write-off. There's some percentage that you're never gonna get 100%.
No, I get
Yeah.
that, I get that.
I don't
It's still,
know. It's,
So we have to have a board approval for this request. Are we all in agreement that as long as President Plainberg can make some assumptions about what this request is, and we're not asking staff to spend untold hours trying to tease out this information, that okay, moving it forward, those are assumptions I'm making right now.
Yes.
So you're okay with the
I am, yes.
request? How about the rest of us?
Yep.
Yes, okay. we have requests from the board, so, and I don't think you have to worry about having it like next month, you know, whatever is a reasonable time frame. For you, I know you have other things coming up in your docket. So, yeah, a few things. Okay. We will be moving into closed session. And in the closed session, we will be considering a recommendation for student expulsion according to Education Code 72122. This is an opportunity for public comment regarding that closed session item. Is there any public comment regarding it?
There's none.
Seeing none, we'll be moving into closed session. Shall we take like